Have you ever wondered what the tallest wave ever reliably measured was? You might think of those big waves in Hawaii or off the coast of Portugal, but surprisingly, it's 1933, a U.S. Navy vessel, the USS Ramapo, found itself staring down a truly colossal wave, one that reached an estimated 135 feet or 41 meters. So let's talk about how big that was and how it was measured. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. This is Western Pacific weather. Now, the USS Ramapo was a United States fuel ship sailing through the North Pacific in February of 1933 after departing Manila in the Philippines and was en route to San Diego. This wasn't a cutting-edge research vessel. It was a practical, sturdy ship designed for long voyages. But that month, it encountered something extraordinary: a massive storm system turning up enormous waves in the open ocean. Now, with that said, this crew had seen big seas before, but nothing like what they were about to witness. These waves weren't chaotic wind-driven waves or rogue waves that appear suddenly. These were long-period swells, rolling in from an enormous storm system that had been brewing in the North Pacific for days. So now that we laid the groundwork of what they were seeing, here's where it gets interesting. How did they measure the height of this massive wave? It's not like they had a ruler out there. The USS Ramapo's crew, led by the ship's officer, had a unique advantage. They used a method based on their ship's length and known elevation of the mast above the sea level. At one point, the ship was perfectly positioned between two swells, giving them a clear horizon line to compare with the mast height. By their calculations, the wave that towered over them was an astonishing 135 feet. So to put this in perspective, that's about the height of an 11 to 12 story building. And remember, this wasn't a single rogue wave crashing into them. This was a part of a massive set of long period swells generated by a storm. So it was one wave after another impacting the Ramapo. So let's talk about what created this monster wave. And it all comes down to storm-generated swells. When a massive storm system lingers in one area for an extended period of time, it generates enormous waves that can travel thousands of miles away from their source. Now, these are not your classic movie-type waves where you have the wind blowing and they're breaking. It's these long-period swells, meaning they have a much longer wavelength that can grow incredibly tall without breaking. And in the case of the USS Ramapo, they were likely sailing right into the peak of one of these monstrous swells as it was traveling across the Pacific. While the wave wouldn't have been as steep as a rogue wave, its sheer size, I'm for sure, was an unforgettable sight for the sailors aboard this naval vessel. Now, before I go any further, I do want to say that this record has been debated, and I'm sure in the comments section below there are going to be people saying this is not accurate. The officers aboard the ship were doing their best based on the calculations they had, but waves of this height are incredibly rare, if not nearly impossible, based on today's wave theory, which says gravity simply doesn't allow waves that big to build up. However, the modern largest wave ever recorded by instruments was around 25 meters or 82 feet. And satellite data suggests that some waves could reach 30 plus meters or 100 feet in the most extreme of conditions. So to say it's impossible, it's really kind of on the fringe of what we have measured based on instruments. That being said, yeah, you could see some of these large waves that could exist around the world in these remote areas where we just don't have a lot of data. The USS Ramapo's report remains one, though, of the best documented sightings of some of the largest waves in history. So whether or not it was truly that big, it is a story in naval folklore that I believe deserves to be remembered nearly 100 years ago. Could there be even bigger waves lurking out there? waiting to be discovered? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like more of these type of educational type updates, please let me know as well. Please hit that subscribe button, the like button. It truly helps out the channel. I'm also humbled by all your Patreon members who support these updates. I'm meteorologist Robert Speta, and as always, friends, stay safe out there.